cover back then and then covered their father. But he didn't. He looked and observed, and he was fascinated with it. Daddy just like that, daddy just like you, right? But he was fascinated with it. So he knew, even in his drunken state, Noah knew who it was, and Noah cursed him, and cursed his son, that was going to be the burden of his son, that he would serve his two other brothers. Their children he would serve perpetually, forever. He would not break their bonds. He will serve them forever. But this was one of the things that came along later when the law came, that God introduced this and put this forth to tell us, this is not good. You shouldn't get into this. He said, the nakedness of thy father's wife shall thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. It belongs to him. The nakedness of your sister, the nakedness of your father, or daughter of your mother, whether she be born at home or abroad, even their nakedness shall you not. So your stepsister, the other nakedness of your father, born children, you're not supposed to uncover. It's not you're not supposed to do that. But I see it today often. And it happens a lot. I remember being in the classroom and come to find out that two people were brother and sister, and they were creating a child. Just leave it like that. They were creating a child. And it's like, oh my goodness. And the nakedness of your son's daughter, your grandchildren, of your daughter's daughter, even their nakedness shall thou not uncover. For theirs is thine nakedness. That's your own. The nakedness of your father's wife, daughter, begotten of thy father, she is thy sister. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Neither shalt thou uncover the nakedness of your father's sister. She's your father's near kinsman. That's your aunt. But I've heard of people marrying their auntie. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of your father's brother. Thou shalt not approach to his wife. She is thine aunt. Because that's your uncle. So that's your aunt. We're in Leviticus 18. And he goes on with more and more about the ones not to do. You shall not, look at verse 20. Moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife, to defile thyself with her. And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech. Neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord. Thou shalt not lie with mankind, as with womankind. Homosexuality. It is a what? An abomination. But that's only in the Old Testament. No, I can show you 3 times in the New. Hello. Neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith. And that's nasty. That's flat out nasty. People do that. If you ever, I saw, wasn't trying to find, just one night going through the stations, and I happened upon this thing called, excuse my verbiage, it was called Jackass. And it's 1, 2, 3, uncut, other one. They were milking a horse. You know what I'm talking about. Milking a horse. A horse in heat is looking for a filly. So they had a filly there. So the horse was ready to, and they took a cup, a vial, and milked the horse. And then the guy drunk it. I thought, I'm thinking to myself, there's no way he did. That's just, and it happened. Bestiality. Women with, and I wonder when those things happen, do they have children? Will they have a child? If some of this stuff is going on in the back room or some of these laboratories, you see this stuff. You don't see it. You don't know about it. But half human, half horse looking stuff. I mean, men impregnating sheep and stuff like that. is that stuff that they actually have with you? And you see that stuff? You know, but that's why he forbade it. I'm serious. I know you. It's funny. But this stuff happens. This stuff actually goes on. Men and women do this stuff. I'm serious. They just defile themselves with this stuff all the time. And here God is telling them, don't do this. This is an abomination. Look at verse 26. You shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and you shall not commit any of these abominations. Neither shall any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth among you. That means you teach the strangers when they come in. Don't do that. That pollutes the land. It will defile the land. For these abominations have the men of the land done. That means he was telling them they were already doing this in Canaan. The Hittites and Amorites and the Gittites, they were already doing this stuff. They were doing this nasty stuff. So he was like, don't you do this. I'm giving you their land. You chase them out. This is why Deuteronomy 7 was so important when he told them, chase them out, utterly destroy them, wipe them out. Don't give your sons to their daughters. Don't give your daughters to their sons. Don't couple yourself with them at all, because they're defiled. They're nasty, and they will teach you to do the same thing. Lo and behold, they kept them there, and they taught them those lewd and lascivious acts. They taught it to them. And they began to perform and do them things. Especially those kings. Ahab was doing crazy stuff. Because that's what's her name was all about. Jezebel, she was all about that. And they were doing some crazy, crazy stuff. Look at Deuteronomy 22. Like I said, if you want to go through there meticulously and look at every verse, by all means, I'm just trying to touch on something quickly about God's warning concerning this, because it's very important that we've got to see what God is speaking to us concerning the things that we need to do about sexual conduct, because he's there to save your body. The only sin that a man commits with the body is fornication. That's the only sin you commit with the body, because you have to join your body to something else in order to commit that. That's the only sin that a man commits with the body. And your body is not your own. 1 Corinthians 6 tells you your body's not your own. You've been bought with a price. It belongs to God. It's supposed to be holy and sanctified. That's why he tells us about the marriage bed. In 1 Corinthians 11, the marriage bed being undefiled. In Hebrews 13 and 4, about the marriage bed. It's undefiled. It's holy. But it's the marriage bed, not any other one. The marriage bed is holy. In Deuteronomy 22, look at verse 13. If any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her and give occasion of speech against her and bring her up an evil name upon her, I say, I took this woman, and when I came unto her, I found her not a maid. Then shall the father of the damsel and the mother take and bring forth tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city of the gate. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hateth her. And lo, he hath given occasion of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. And they shall spread the cloth before the elders in the city. Now there was a cloth that was spread forth that would prove that a woman was not having relationships. During that time, it may be that she was flowering, as they called it. But she was not having a relationship. You could tell. There was a difference. They kept a rag to prove that. And this was the rag that they would present to the elders in the gate. And if she was having a relationship, it would be more bloody. But if she was not, then it was less blood, because she was not having a relationship. And she had to prove it, because they laid upon the
a blanket, and that's why it was defiled. And that's why a man was not to come into a woman when she was during that time, because he would be